मिरान्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे बृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
वासुदेवाय।
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्।
Hare Krishna. Once again. So we are reading 14th chapter of 7th canto, Ideal Family Life. Almost 7th canto is going to come to an end. It has 15 chapters and mostly conversation between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj. The chapter starts with conversation between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he narrates the story of Lord Narasimha, Prahlad Maharaj, and how Prahlad Maharaj has been protected by the Lord and Hiranyakashipu has been killed. We already know Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha are the two doorkeepers of the Lord who has committed an offense towards a Vaishnava and are cursed to become demons. I mean, they were given a choice to have 6 lifetimes to behave good or 3 lifetimes being demons and then come back to Vaikuntha. So they choose the shorter lifetime span because they don't want it to be separated from the Lord for a longer time. And even when they became demons, they were all the time thinking about the Lord, but not in a favorable way. They're thinking about the Lord in an unfavorable way. But even in that, their thought is completely on Krishna. So sometimes we have to pay attention to what is that thing that we are thinking unfavorably. Even if that is not Krishna, that is going to take away our mind and make us think about it. We may be thinking about something which we don't like most of the time, because like and dislike are two sides of a coin. We will be thinking about them and they may take our mind away and make us conscious of that thing all the time. So sometimes it's not even worth to dislike and hate something so much that it will take away our mind, our thoughts, our concentration, our consciousness away from Krishna. So our thoughts are very powerful. So we need to direct them towards a positive thing all the time. So after killing of Hiranyakasipu and all, Yudhishthira Maharaj is questioning Narad Muni. So if we see Mahabharata, Pandavas have lot of problems. It's like their life is like a roller coaster ride. One after the other, one after the other. They were having troubles and people are scheming against them and using all their power all the time to do something to put them down. But Pandavas have sustained all those challenges. And Bhishma Pitamaha, when Yudhishthira Maharaj, after the Kurukshetra war, he goes and meets him, he tells that you are able to sustain all these challenges and still be following all the right things in a righteous way because you are always in the association of devotees and then you are always serving the Brahmanas and Krishna. So you have this constant in your life, which has made you not deviate from the path of dharma or not go in a way which is away from the scriptures. So this is very important for us to learn also. Like most of the time we think that my life should be without any challenges, without any problems. Everything should go as I am planning. Everything should be clear and going as I'm expecting. But we are in a place where the DNA of this place is that it is full of miseries. It is full of challenges. It is Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. So we will be always having problems with respect to our own body and mind. So most of the times our body may be good, but our mind will paint a picture so dangerous in us that we will be in our own world and we will be struggling. So problems that are given by our body and mind, problems that are given by uh, relatives or families and friends, we do get problems with all of them. And then problems we get by the natural calamities. Nobody can escape that. And so many examples we have seen in our life. COVID, hurricanes, tornadoes. They does not see whether the person standing there is a rich person or a poor person. None of our material qualifications will make us escape those dangers. So this material world is full of miseries, which we see padam padam vipadam. Like every step, there is a trouble. Brahma in his prayers to Krishna in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he mentions that word. This world is every step you have a problem. So that scenario of not having any problems, not having any challenges is not possible in this material world. It may be possible, it will be possible in spiritual world, but not in this material world. So the next option is like, how do we face them and how do we not get distracted and go into a way which is away from the scriptures, which is going to bring us more sufferings, which is going to make us do miserable things or abominable things. Because it's very easy when you are in troubles or when you are facing problems, it's very easy to choose a path which will get us out of it and not think whether that path is right or wrong. So if we can restrain or if we can control that urge to solve the problem somehow or the other and see what is the right thing to be done, even though it is difficult in the beginning, this is going to end up in good for me, then we are set. For that, we need association of devotees, scriptures, and service to Krishna and service to Vaishnava. Very, very important. And always taking counseling through scriptures and devotees and chanting our sadhana. These all things help us to keep us in track. And this is one beautiful quality which Pandavas have. Whoever has read Mahabharata, we see that when they go on their exile, they always have a priest with them. Dhaumya is their priest. So he always, whichever place they go, he tells them the importance of the place, what are the right things to be done, what are the things that they perform. And they did not sit in, keep cursing Duryodhana or keep cursing the situations, like, or they were not fighting among themselves. They do have a discussion in the beginning, like Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira should have done something like that or other, or we could have killed Duryodhana. We should not have accepted this. Initially, they think like that, but later they accept the situation and they start going on, like how we can, what we can do in this time, where we can get power, where we can get strength, so that when we fight back, we are all ready. So sometimes in our life, when we have reversals, we will be focusing on the problem and cursing the people or blaming the people who gave us that problem, who brought us into that circumstance, and we will stop working on ourselves. We'll stop working on a solution. So when we have reversals or downtime in our life, if we start focusing on ourselves and be ready when the situation changes to be in full form and getting what we wanted, that will be very nice. So Pandavas has done that. Pandavas has that quality which they always inquired from the sages, saints, and even with their priests, and they have always served the Brahmanas. Um, they took with them for some time the Brahmanas, the people around them. So this is the quality which is helps us to know. So they never thought that we are the greatest devotees. We have easy access to Krishna, and then what is there to listen from anybody? They always inquired and listened the right things. So always listening. There is so much unlimited knowledge. There is so much to learn every day, and listening and reading and hearing and taking counsel always helps us. So that one quality of Yudhishthira has made him ask in the beginning of this canto, why is Lord impartial? Why do Lord has to favor the demons? He's not scared of them. Then the whole story happened. And now he asks in the similar tone, what are the good things? How does a Gruhastha has to behave? And all of us are in that boat. Most of the people in this in the Kali Yuga are Gruhasthas, and that too, especially those who have taken up the devotional life, most of them are Gruhasthas. So this is very much apt question for us. What should we be doing and what we should not be doing? Which Yudhishthira is asking Narad Muni. And Narad Muni is the greatest devotee of the Lord, who is spiritual master of many devotees. If we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see Narad Muni as a spiritual master to many people, and his instructions were never same. Like he won't instruct the same thing to everybody. He will instruct based on the person, what he is and what he wants, and then always his instructions were fructified. That they resulted in Krishna for the people he is teaching them. So they never diverted them towards the material life, but they always diverted towards Krishna. So sometimes when we are seeking spiritual advice and all, it may look like this is so difficult or this is not what I want. I wanted something material, but the advice is taking me towards something which seems like a longer path. But when it is from Shastras and scriptures and from devotees, it is going to give us a long term benefit. So that's what we have seen in the case of all the people who got advice from Narad Muni. So now Narad Muni is giving instructions about the ideal family life. So when we are reading all these things, we should not think that this is only meant for Yudhishthira, because Yudhishthira is in Gruhastha and that time he is asking. Maybe now it is not good. So all these things are applicable to some extent in our lives now also, and should be followed within our own situation. Like we may not be acting like Yudhishthira because Yudhishthira is king and we are not, but we can be doing within our own circumstances with full sincerity. So he explains the duties of Grihastha duties of Grihastha. He also explains what are the things that we can do according to the time, circumstance, and place. This is also very important. Like we have to do the things according to the time, circumstance, and the place. And he also explains to them what is the benefit of worshipping deities, Brahmanas, and Krishna. So that means the focus of Grihastha life should be around these things. What are the duties of Grihastha? Um, uh, in what place, what time, what circumstances, what should be done and what should not be done. And the third thing, how we should be engaging ourselves in worshipping Achyuta, Krishna, and then Brahmanas and deities. This is the things that Grihasthas has to learn. And you all might have already discussed all the verses because we are in the 17th verse, which is almost 17th and 18th are almost the end of duties of a Grihastha. Later, he starts speaking about what we should be doing in time and place. So, Narad Muni advises Yudhishthira Maharaj to keep Krishna in the center for a family life and all the time hearing about Krishna and chanting Krishna. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya means like 24/7 doing service to Krishna. Immediately, all of us will say that who is going to feed us? If I do 24/7, who is going to take care of my house? Who is going to do the householder things in my house? I have so many things to do because I'm a householder. I'm not a brahmachari or I'm not a sannyasi where I don't have any responsibilities to perform. I'm a householder. And on top of it, Krishna is saying that keep Krishna in the center and hear about Krishna all the time. How is this possible? Because householders will have a lot of responsibility than anybody in the world. And we sometimes, because we are now in Kali Yuga, and we are now totally confused about what should be the goal of the life. What should I achieve? What should I not achieve? What is need? What is want? Some basic things we are not clear. So we are more confused and we are running behind oasis, thinking that that is going to give me happiness. So that our responsibilities have even increased more. We are always unhappy. We are always running. We are always having so many things to do other than our devotional service, which are very tempting and telling me that they are going to give me immediate happiness. And how is it possible? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. How is it possible? Nityam here is translated by Acharyas as a regular systematic study of Bhagavatam or regular practice of a devotional service. So doing something consistently, regularly at particular time or a place is what becomes an Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Like how many of you are regularly attending Srimad Bhagavatam sessions in the morning, chanting the holy names of the Lord, or even doing 10 minutes a day, but doing it consistently and regularly. Consistency is the key. Doing it every day regularly, not like one day I sit down and chant 64 malas, and for 64 days I don't even look at my mala and then come back. But doing something regularly is what becomes Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So Narada Muni tells here about Krishna. Develop detachment. Again, this is something which is very difficult for householders because we are in the middle of so many relationships, friends, and then how do we be detached and still do our service? Narad Muni, but still advises us to do our duties but be detached to the results of that. So all these things are going to help. Like that, he advises them. And now we come to a part where Narad Muni is telling how serving Brahmanas is going to help the Gruhastas. So the Gruhastas are allowed to do a job, 9 to 5 jobs. Um, and remaining time they engage in service of Krishna, maintaining the family, taking care of children, and so many other things. So they are allowed to earn money and use that money in the service of sannyasis and brahmacharis after maintaining themselves. It was never ever said. Narad Muni also mentions one point like not to be greedy. I think he mentions in previous slokas, like eighth sloka, he says like don't be too greedy. Like try to gather everything for yourself. But unfortunately, the more advanced we are becoming, the more greedy we are becoming. There is nowhere, no time for any of us to do something for because others will be happy, others for others satisfaction. Even in the own family, we became so narrow that children don't want to do something for the satisfaction of parents. Or within wife and husband also, sometimes like we don't want to give up on something which is very dear to us to make somebody else happy. So we became more and more greedy. Our circle became very small. We put that circle just around us. I'll do what I like. I will only behave in a way I want to behave, and I seek happiness from that. And then the more we are doing that, the more we are becoming depressed. It is going in the other way around. So the less we are greedy, the less we serve devotees, less we serve Krishna. Sorry, the more we serve Krishna, the more we serve others and see happiness in making others happy. Again, let's not take this out of the context and say that torture ourselves or uh, sacrifice so much that we are in we are in pain and making others happy. Not that. Within we not taking to that extent, but not taking to the other extent also, that not doing anything, not serving anybody, not loving anybody. So when we do this, we'll be very happy. So he mentions that. So and then he goes on for feeding brahmanas. So gruhasthas, the money they earn, they have to, after using for their family, they have to engage that in the service of Krishna and brahmanas because they are earning. Of course, because we don't know this, we think that all the money should be used for ourselves, and we have so many so-called wants becoming necessities that we are not having any money to spend on any other things. But if we live our life simple and keep our necessities clear and keep away our wants and take some and serve Krishna and devotees, then we will be happy. So this is the formula which Narad Muni is teaching Yudhishthira. Nahai agnimukatoyam vai Bhagavan sarva yajnabhuk ijjate havisha rajan yata vipramuke hutai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the enjoyer of sacrificial offerings. Yet, although his lordship eats the oblations offered in the fire, my dear king, he is still more satisfied when nice food made of grains and ghee is offered to him through the mouths of qualified brahmanas. Parpat. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yagnartha karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. All fruitive activities should be performed for sacrifice, which should be directed toward pleasing Krishna. As stated elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surudam Sarvabhutanam. He is the supreme Lord and enjoyer of everything. However, although sacrifice may be offered to please Krishna, he is more pleased when grains and ghee, instead of being offered in the fire, are prepared as prasada and distributed, first to the Brahmanas and then to others. This system pleases Krishna more than anything else. Furthermore, at the present time, there is very little chance to offer sacrifices by pouring oblations of food grains and ghee into the fire. Especially in India, there is practically no ghee. For everything that should be done with ghee, people use a certain type of oil preparation. Oil, however, is never recommended for offering in sacrificial fire. In Kali Yuga, the available quantity of food grain and ghee is gradually diminishing, and people are embarrassed that they cannot produce sufficient ghee and food grains. Under the circumstances, the Shastras enjoin Yagne Sankirtana Prayair Ejantihi Sumedasaha. In this age, those who are intellectual offer yajna or perform sacrifices through the Sankirtana movement. Everyone should join the Sankirtan movement, offering to the fire of this movement the oblations of his knowledge and riches. In our Sankirtan movement or Hare Krishna movement, we offer sumptuous prasada to the deity and later distribute the same prasada to the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, and then to people in general. Krishna's prasada is offered to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and the prasada of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas is offered to the general populace. This kind of sacrifice, chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and distribution of prasada is the most perfect bona fide way of offering sacrifice for the pleasure of Yajna and or Krishna, Vishnu. So Prabhupada purports are very powerful. If any of you have ever read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, Prabhupada used to most of the time, the initial days when he was in Vrindavan, when he did not come to US, he used to write initially, and then later he found a typewriter. So he used to sit down and type uh, all these purports by referring to many scriptures, many small books, and all. and many Acharya's commentaries. He used to sit down and write them in all in English. And once he came to US, and his focus was always on book distribution, writing books, um, along with preaching. So again, he used to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Can you
And
read this? Aman ka cup defrost karne.
maybe somebody has to mute.
Sorry, Mataji.
Or did I mute? Or sorry.
No, I muted them, Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji, I muted. I was talking. I'm sorry.
No problem. I was just checking if you are asking me something. So Srila Prabhupada used to write from 2 to 6 because it will be very calm, peaceful. After that, when the preaching started progressing in US, Prabhupada became very busy in the daytime. So many people come and meet Prabhupada. He's building temples. He's doing so many things. So he used to wake up at 2, and until 6 he used to dictate all these verses, translations, purports, and then later they get typed. So, and that's why Prabhupada always say that Krishna is the one who is empowering Prabhupada to write these. So he used to go and read his own books, because always Prabhupada believed that Krishna is the one who is speaking. So that's why here so wonderfully Prabhupada brings so many points in this purport, which are very, very practical and which are very, very important. So this particular verse, Narad Muni is saying, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrificial offerings. So this is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. In 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that he is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. But when we do many sacrifices, why Krishna is telling that, and why we need to focus on this line? Is it that we think otherwise, that Krishna, somebody else as an enjoyer other than Krishna? Yes, we do. We think that we are the enjoyer. We want to enjoy anything that we are doing, the result we want to enjoy. I'm going and donating to temple, I'm doing some punya karma, I'm doing some good activity or a religious activity. We want the results of it for us. We want that punya back to us so that we can have a better material life. We can have better enjoyment, sense enjoyment in this life. All those who are having material sense enjoyment higher than us, and like those who went to the Swargaloka, heaven, and are enjoying, or those who are here are enjoying their material senses, they are all able to do that because they have done some kind of a pious activity either in this life or in their previous lives, which have resulted in enjoying those material things for them. It's not that God is being partial to them, or Krishna is like giving them the enjoyment and giving us the suffering, giving somebody a 5-story building and somebody to sleep on the road. Krishna is not doing that. Their own actions have resulted in those kind of situations. And we may be wondering that this life they are so good, but we always have to remember that our life is a multi episodes. If you suddenly enter into the 1000 episode, you may be seeing wrongly the person who looks like a villain is not really a villain, but a good person. But the person who is villain may be a bad person who is acting good in this. So we don't know. And unless until we know all the previous episodes, we won't be able to really understand this episode. So similarly, in our life also, we see sometimes some problems, some sufferings, which we cannot relate why they are happening to us. Or some kind of riches, some kind of lucky, we say the word we use lucky, fortune. Oh, he's a very fortunate person. He's a very lucky person. That is nothing but the results of the previous pious activities that are coming to them right now. And simple effort is resulting in a higher result. But for someone else, lot of effort is not resulting even in a simple result. So when we generally do any of the pious activities, we want the result. We want to be the enjoyer. We want it to result in our own sense enjoyment. So that's why here it is mentioned. Particularly, Narad Muni is mentioning to Grihasthas that Krishna is the enjoyer of sacrificial offerings. At although his lordship eats the oblations offered in the fire, so whatever we are doing into the fire sacrifice, any yajna we are performing, it is going ultimately to Krishna, because Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, first time he reveals his about himself in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where he says like he is yajna. All the sacrifices has to be performed for the pleasure of the Lord Vishnu. That's what it is mentioned in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So any sacrifice that we are performing, we should be offering it to Krishna. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Offering everything to the Krishna. Even though Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices, Narad Muni is saying he will be more satisfied when nice food made of grains and ghee is offered to him through the mouths of qualified Brahmanas. How is that? So when we serve devotees, when we serve Brahmanas, prasadam, when we distribute prasadam, when we engage ourselves in the service of the prasadam, we use our money, our strength, our energy in cooking prasadam, offering it to Krishna and distributing it. And when we serve Vaishnavas and Brahmanas and others, Krishna is even more pleased than doing the fire sacrifice and offering. So for many of us who think that devotees means like they go and do the things only in the temple, but not for the welfare of the society. And Prabhupada often says that when we give Krishna to people, when we give Krishna consciousness to people, it is the best welfare activity that can ever be done. There is no better than that one. Remaining all of them can give a temporary satisfaction and temporary result. But when we give Krishna to people, when we give Harinam to people, when we give prasadam, Krishna prasadam to people, it's no more. It's not anymore a normal khichdi or normal fruit. It is going to sanctify them. It is going to purify them, and it is going to make their lives more and more better. So when we are thinking of charity, when we are thinking of doing some service, doing in a right way is also very important. So if at all we want to distribute prasadam, if at all we have and we want to feed people, or we want to host some kind of a party where we are inviting everybody and distributing food, it becomes million times better if that food is prasada and is distributed. So Prabhupada here, Krishna here is saying that when we serve Brahmanas, when we feed Brahmanas first, Krishna becomes more pleased. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yajnatha karmanonyatra lokoyam karmavandanat. So if we don't do karma as an offering to Krishna, that karma is going to bind us. Then we may get it out. If it is a good karma, what is the problem? We can let it bind us because it is going to result only in happiness and sense enjoyment. And is going to give us more and more pleasure. Then what is problem in that? Again, the problem is that you may come to enjoy that into this material world, but you cannot escape the other problems because you are going into a jail and then you are saying that I'm going to enjoy a AC room there. I'm going to enjoy TV, a big 65-inch or 75-inch TV there inside a jail. It's not real enjoyment. So seeking for material pleasures in this material world is like seeking a first-class jail, first-class room in a jail. So it is not real happiness, or it is not real freedom, or it is not real enjoyment. It looks like that, but it is not. It is temporary. It does not give us the same happiness every time. And most importantly, we are bound. We are conditioned. So we don't realize that. And we become unintelligent and we choose those kind of things. So even the pious activities, even the good activities that we are doing is going to bind us to a material life. They are not going to give us spiritual life. They are still going to give us a body which is going to be born, which is going to become disease, which is going to get disease, which is going to become old age, and which is going to die at one point of time. None of the millionaires are going to live forever, or they can claim that they are not going to get any disease, or they can claim that they are not going to become any old. Whatsoever you spend on any of the cosmetic surgeries or high good food, do a lot of an exercise, do whatever you may be, you will become old. You cannot escape that. And with old age comes a lot of problems. We cannot escape that. And body is meant to perish. It is going to get diseases. You cannot escape that. So the so-called sense enjoyment is so much conditioned. And we are seeking that. So any karma which is not done as a sacrifice to Krishna is going to bind us to a material body and will not liberate us to gain our spiritual body. So that's why we should not be doing that. We should not be seeking that. And we should be careful when we are doing pious activities. We should be remembering it to offer to Krishna. Otherwise, it is going to bind us and it is going to, in end, result in not a happy way. So all fruitive activities should be performed for sacrifice, which should be directed toward pleasing Krishna. When we please Krishna, when we offer it to Krishna, we will be even more happier than what we thought that keeping those results to us can give us happiness. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We belong to Krishna. When we offer everything to Krishna and do things for the pleasure of the Lord, because all our senses, if any of you, I think you all might have already read the third canto, second canto of Srimad Bhagvatam and third canto of Srimad Bhagvatam, how all our senses are created. They all come from Krishna. So when our senses engage in the service of the Krishna, they achieve ultimate happiness then engaged in the material activities. So we may not be experiencing that now because we are contaminated, we are conditioned. But that is the real medicine. Like how a person who has jaundice, if you give him sweet when he is highly having that disease, he may not find it sweet. But once he is cured, the same sugar candy that you give to him, he will know the real taste of it. Same with us. Right now, we are not feeling that happiness when we are engaging our senses in the service of Krishna. Because we are right now having a disease, bhava roga, a material disease that I am this body, I have to enjoy all these senses for my sense enjoyment. But when we engage all these senses, everything in Krishna's service, when we get cured of our bhava roga, we will derive that real happiness. So here, Krishna is saying, like in fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he ends fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So Prabhupada, that particular verse, Bhokta 5.29, that is the peace formula. Like if we want peace in our life, most of the times we see this word peace even in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, last verses. And then here also, Prabhupada says this as the peace formula. What is the peace formula? Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Santi Mruchati. Who gets the Santi? Who attains peace? Santi Mruchati. Attains or achieves peace. Who will attain peace? Who will attain peace? Those who know that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. All that we are seeing in this material world belongs to Krishna. He is the owner of all these things. We should not be exploiting them, or we should not be using them or engaging them in our own service. We should use them in the service of the Lord. So Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifice, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. And then Krishna, Surudam Sarva Bhutanam. So Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam means he is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Maha Ishvara, is the controller, supreme proprietor of all the lokas. Not just material world. Spiritual world is also Krishna is under his control. All are created by his energies. All are maintained by his energies. All are annihilated by his energies. He is the soul. He is everything. Sarvabhuta Maheshwaram. Not only the material worlds, for all the living entities also Krishna is the proprietor. And then benefactor. Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. He is friend to everybody. So one who knows this is will attain peace. So when we are performing any sacrifice, if we know that Krishna is the ultimate benefactor or supreme enjoyer of all these sacrifices, and we offer them for Krishna, like we say, we do with that mood that I'm going to do this for the pleasure of the Lord. So let us not worry that, oh, I'm doing this for the pleasure of the Lord. But I have a biggest problem right now, which I have to deal. I have problem with my children. I have problem with my job. I have problem with my health or some other problem. But I am doing this kind of a big activity, donating some millions of dollars, or I'm cooking from last 3 days in the kitchen, in Krishna's kitchen, and cooking prasadam for so many people. And should I easily say that I'll do this for the pleasure of the Lord and not seek anything back from this? If I get a punya back, maybe my situation can get better. I can come out of this problem, and then I may be happy. So let me do it saying with a material motive that Krishna, I'm doing all this service to you. Can you give me this back? Can you please give me wealth? Can you please give me happiness? Can you give me health or something or the other material things? We get tempted to do that. But we have to remember that whatever we are seeking that is going to give us happiness may not at the end give us happiness. If it gives also, it is temporary. It is very, very temporary. Within in this life, it may be temporary, and or even if it lasts, it will only last till the end of the life. After that, we have to leave it and go. We can't stay permanently. Let's say I prayed to Krishna and I became the richest person in this world. But unfortunately, after certain life, after certain years of life, I have to leave this body and go. I can't stay here forever and be the richest person forever. I have to leave this body, go, and then take another body, which may not be the rich body. So all these things are temporary. But if we in turn offer all those things for the pleasure of the Lord, we pour water at the root, we will be in turn getting an eternal happiness, spiritual happiness, which is going to last longer and which is not dependent on anything external. So one who is happy from inside, he does not need anything external to be happy. One who is satisfied from inside, even if you put millions of dollars in front of him or food items, when stomach is completely full, you can't even take one more morsel of right inside. Your stomach will like explode. Then even something is put in front of you, you don't get tempted and go to it. So once we attain that internal peace, internal satisfaction, we will not seek anything external. Because we are not attaining that internal peace and satisfaction, we are seeking so many things externally, material things, which are not giving us happiness, and we are keep switching from one thing to the other, not knowing where to seek the real happiness. The real happiness is in spiritual things. And once we start seeking them and once we start attaining them, anything material is not going to tempt us. And we are going to attain eternal, permanent happiness in the service of Krishna. And it starts with offering everything to Krishna in the beginning, having faith that we are part and parcel of Krishna, and our senses will be more happy, receive more enjoyment when we engage them in the service of the Krishna. So Krishna here, so Prabhupada here says that Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Supreme Lord and enjoyer of everything. However, although sacrifice may be offered to please Krishna, he is more pleased when grains and ghee, instead of offered in the fire, are prepared to as prasada and distributed. first to Brahmanas and then to others. So Krishna will be even more happy when we distribute prasadam. This system pleases Krishna more than anything else. Furthermore, at the present time, there is very little chance to offer sacrifices by pouring oblations of food grains and ghee into the fire, especially in India. There is practically no ghee, for everything should be done with ghee. People use a certain type of oil preparation. So ghee has become a very rare commodity because people are killing the cows. And ghee is also rich. Ghee is also expensive sometimes. And many people may not be able to offer that, to buy ghee. And then when you have to do a proper yajna, in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to perform yajna. In olden days, like in Treta Yuga, they used to perform yajna every day. Like Nityam, the fire sacrifice used to be there every day. We cannot perform that because it requires a lot of austerity and penances and lot of discipline for us. And we need a lot of ritviks, proper ritviks who can chant the mantras properly in such a way that whatever offerings we are performing in that fire sacrifice are going and accepted by the Devi Devtas. So we need that mantra to be pronounced properly with lot of shraddha and lot of faith. And we are not finding that kind of ritviks in these days. And we don't have ingredients also all required for that kind of things. So this kind of a fire sacrifice is becoming difficult for many reasons. Lack of ingredients, lack of ritviks, lack of performers, lack of austerity. All these things are making these things to become very, very difficult to be performed. And people are embarrassed that they cannot produce sufficient ghee and food grains. Under the circumstances, the Shastras enjoin Yajna Sankirtana Praya Yajantihi Sumedasaha. So in these kind of situations where we cannot perform Yajna, fire sacrifice, or some of us may not be able to perform even the service of distributing prasada also. We may not be that rich that we can sponsor prasad many times in a life. We may be doing on our birthdays or some kind of occasions or some kind of a festivals where we will go and we can go and donate. And we may not be able to donate all the time. Sometimes we may be earning enough that we can meet our own ends, and we may be doing very little. There is one wonderful line yesterday I was reading in Mahabharat, Vidurniti. In that, Vidura is advising Dhritarashtra, and he tells that whoever performs charity when he doesn't have money is great. See, for doing any kind of donation or a charity, you don't need lot of money. You need that heart. So whatever you have, within that donating, within that doing a charity is important. Like sometimes we think that we need bigger things, more things to do something, some kind of a charity. Like we may not be having money for distributing prasada, but we may have energy to go and cut vegetables when the prasad is getting cooked, or distribute it, or clean the prasadam hall, or some kind of another service within our own situations. We will always find when we have sincerity to do that. And if we don't have that sincerity of doing something, we may have millions of dollars, but we will not be able to donate even a single dollar to that because we don't have that heart. So when we give charity when we don't have, that is even greater. That's what Vidura tells to think. So having that sincere heart to do the things is very important. So let's say sometimes we may not be in a position where we can go and serve in the prasadam hall also, or do that kind of, we may not be having access to that kind of things. Then what is our situation? We are completely lost, or we don't have any way to please Krishna, or any way to make our lives better. For that, Sankirtana prayer ejantihi sumedasaha. Intelligent people will choose the Sankirtana yajna, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. That is the best yajna we can perform in this Kali Yuga. We can do within our own means, in our own house, in our own timings, sincerely quality japa. In this age, those who are intellectual offer yajna or perform sacrifices through the Sankirtana movement. Everyone should join the Sankirtan movement, offering to the fire of this movement the oblations of his knowledge and riches. In our Sankirtan movement or Hare Krishna movement, we offer sumptuous prasada to the deity and later distribute the same prasada to the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, and then to the people in general. So somehow or the other, we have to connect ourselves to this prasadam distribution. We can either donate money or we can go and engage in the service or we can cook or we can distribute or do something or the other way. We offer sumptuous prasada to the deity and later distribute the same prasada to the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, and then to people in general. Krishna prasada is offered to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and the prasada of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas is offered to the general population. This kind of sacrifice, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and distribution of prasada, is the most perfect and bona fide way of offering sacrifice for the pleasure of Yajna or Vishnu. So the most bona fide way is chanting of the holy names of Krishna or distributing prasada. If we engage ourselves in somehow or the other in these two things, our life is set. Most of the time, the simple things we find it so difficult. We struggle to do the simple things. But to please Krishna, we don't need a lot of things. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. With love, even somebody offers me water, leaf, or a flower, patram, pushpam, phalam, a fruit, toyam, or a water. The main ingredient that where Krishna is seeking is like love. So when we have love for Krishna, when we want to serve Krishna, when we want to please Krishna, we will find a way to engage ourselves in these two important things, prasada and then chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Sometimes we may not be able to go out to the temple and reach many people, but at least we can eat prasada in our home. We cook prasada and distribute, at least it starts from there. Cooking prasada and distributing in our own house for our own family members. Many of us struggle there itself to cook prasada and offer in our own house every day. So eating prasada, distributing prasada becomes very simple. We don't need to even go out of our house because eating food is something which we do 3 times a day or 1 time a day. Nowadays, people are health conscious, so maybe 1 time a day, but something that we do regularly. So we can just cook prasada in our own house, offer to Krishna, or like wherever, if we are going to work, we can take some and distribute, or whoever coming to our house, we can offer them prasada, or wherever we go, if we have handy prasada, people will never say no to food. They will take it. So if we can offer and take it, and if we can offer and eat for ourselves, it is going to purify our own consciousness. Prasada is important factor in our spiritual life because many times what we eat is what we become. If our eating is not pure, our thoughts cannot be pure. We won't get that strength to practice whatever we are hearing in the scriptures. We don't get the strength to practice the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So prasada and chanting of the holy names of the Lord, doing a systematic chanting, connecting ourselves to the Supreme Lord. Every mantra, chant in such a way that you are directly in front of Krishna and then you are offering your obeisances to him with love, with complete surrenderance. And seeing Krishna in front of us and seeing Krishna, I don't have anything else. I'm your servant. Everything in this world is given by you. Even for me to perform anything, the strength is coming from you. So I'm offering myself to you. And please engage me in your service. Every mantra with that love and affection towards the Lord, it becomes a greatest sacrifice, greatest igna. And when we do that, Krishna gets pleased. When Krishna gets pleased, there is nothing that we cannot achieve in this world. And when Krishna is on our side, we don't need anybody else on our side. We don't need to go and please anybody else. That is what always the devotees of the Lord choose. Devotees of the Lord always choose Krishna. It's not that Krishna is being partial to them. Krishna has his doors open to everybody. He is inviting every one of us to come under his shelter, under his protection, under his guidance. But we are not choosing that. The devotees of the Lord are choosing that. They are taking the side of Krishna. They are going under the shelter of Krishna. They are going under the shelter of under the protection of Krishna. So when we do that, when we have protection and guidance of Krishna, we don't need to fear anything. So with every mantra that we are chanting, we are choosing that. We are seeking that. So don't make your chanting mechanical, lip service, because many of us over the period of time, we can chant sleeping, we can chant watching TV, we can chant browsing the phone, we can chant anywhere. And then we can finish our 16 rounds. It's not going to give us the benefit, or it will not make us progress. I will not say completely it is useless, because Krishna's name is so powerful. Even chanted in any way is going to give us benefit, but it may not give us the love of Krishna which we are seeking, or it will not make us progress. It will not give us the strength to withstand the challenges that the material world is giving us. When our japa is quality, when our japa is having is quality, when our japa's quality is good, that's when we will get that strength to practice what we are listening, to seek love of Krishna, to offer everything to Krishna, to think of Krishna all the time, to be less greedy, to be attached to Krishna and engage ourselves in the service of the Krishna. So here Yudhishthira is being advised by Narada to feed Brahmanas first. The next verse also follows like that, which also says that, therefore, my dear king, first offer prasada unto the Brahmanas and the demigods, and after simply feeding them, you may distribute prasada to other living entities according to your ability. In this way, you will be able to worship all the living entities, or in other words, the supreme living entity within every living entity. So he says, Tasmad Brahmana Deveshu Martyadishu Yathartataha Taisthai Kamair Ajaisvainam Kshetragnam Brahmanam Anu. So in this way, you are going to please every living entity. When you first offer the prasada to the Brahmanas, to Devi Devtas, and then feed everybody, distribute everybody, then you will be actually pleasing all the living entities. So to distribute prasada to all living entities, the process is that we must first offer prasada to the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, for the demigods are represented by the Brahmanas. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, will be worshipped. This is the Vedic system of offering prasada. Whenever there is a ceremony for distribution of prasada, the prasada is offered first to Brahmanas, then to the children and old men, then to the women, and then to animals like dogs and other domestic animals. When it is said that Narayana, the Supreme Being, is situated in everyone's heart, this does not mean that everyone has become Narayana, or that a particular poor man has become Narayana. Such a conclusion is rejected herein. So, Daridra Narayana. So, people think that poor or Narayana. Krishna is situated in everybody, and we are connected. We are connected to everybody because we are connected to Krishna, and Krishna is in everybody. So we see presence of Krishna in everybody. And how we can please everybody? When we please Krishna. So when we please Krishna, everybody gets pleased. And how to please Krishna? Engaging ourselves in the distribution of prasada and then chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So for even prasadam distribution also, simple rules is that we cook prasada, we offer it to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas first, old people, women, children, and then distribute it to everybody. So when we when we serve like this, our service becomes pleasing and attracts Krishna's mercy and showers Krishna's protection and mercy on us. And it's very simple, actually. When we say distribute prasada, we don't need to distribute 64 items or richest items. Even if you go and distribute simple dry fruits, offer that and distributing that, that helps. And if we cannot distribute by ourselves, we can participate in the prasadam distribution programs, which genuinely serve the devotees. In that way, we we can please Krishna. So whenever we are planning any program, if you see Prabhupada from the beginning, prasadam is very important thing. Prasadam attracts many devotees to Krishna, and prasadam is the easiest and simplest way to get Krishna's mercy also. Because the same food that we are eating for filling our tummy becomes mercy of Krishna when it is offered to Krishna and eaten. But sometimes we show a lot of laziness to offer to Krishna. We don't have that determination or motivation to cook and offer to Krishna and eat. If we can change that mindset, our life changes. Many devotees have shared with me that once they introduce prasada in their life has changed. So many of you may be thinking like, oh, I may not be able to offer a full meal to Krishna because I have so many difficulties. It's not practically plausible to me. I have to go to work very early, or in my house, there are still people who eat non-vegetarian, or there are still people who did not give up onion and garlic. So I may not be able to do that. We don't need to worry. We can start from where? Offering dry fruits, even water. So starting from there, if we start our day by taking that prasada, which is offered to Krishna. So again, people ask, oh, Mataji, I don't open my altar in the morning because I have to go to work by 6 o'clock in the morning, and I may not be able to start my day with a prasada. Offer it and keep before day, dry fruits, water, and drink that in the first day in the morning. Connect yourself to Krishna somehow or the other as the first thing in the morning by chanting the holy names of the Lord, by eating prasada that is offered to the Lord, and then start your day. Things will be falling in place, helps us to face the challenges in this material world, and then keep us in Krishna consciousness steady. So these are the simple things, and prasada is the concept in these two verses. Feeding prasada to the brahmanas first, and then to the old people and children, engaging ourselves in prasadam and sankirtana. I'll stop here, Prabhuji and Mataji. Anybody wants to add anything, have any questions or comments or corrections, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for taking your time and explaining so nicely. I was trying to listen very carefully. Every word you said, and I repeated such a nice flow, and it's coming from your side, So it's amazing. So many things you said, but I will not take much time. But also, like last thing you said about prasadam. Yeah, we just made rule for a couple years back. Everything we'll try to offer. So our quality of food is improved a lot. So we don't eat left. We try not to eat leftover. Try not to eat, and now we watch ingredient more carefully and all that. But I've been listening many people, but you give very very clear instructions. The chanting and distribute prasada is a certain way to set your life. That's very very clear, and many many things. But I'll just keep it here, and thank you again for giving your time and such a wise wisdom. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Geeta. Thank you so much for this explanation on Prasadam. It's very, very, like you're saying, people's lives have changed. I'll be honest, sometimes forget also. But I wanted to ask you if we do Brahma Arpanam, cook the Prasadam, do Brahma Arpanam, the chant. That's good enough, right? We've offered it to Krishna then, and then we can start offering to others.
Yeah, once we offer to Krishna, then we can offer to others. Yes, Mataji, that's what here. Yes, yes.
So what does offering to Krishna entail? Can you, is it just Brahmarpanam? That's all?
There are simple prasada mantras you can find. So if you can't, I think Shamrasika Mataji can forward. So once we cook, when we are cooking, we cook without tasting, and then we put in front of the Lord, and we chant those mantras, requesting Lord to accept the prasada. So there are very simple mantras. And if you don't have mantras, we can even tell with our own simple words, asking like, Krishna, I have prepared this meal for you, for your pleasure. Please accept this offering. Please take this prasada. Please accept my offering. And then once we leave it for certain time, like 3-4 minutes or 5 minutes, and then we take it and then we just eat. We mix it with the original quantities that we have cooked and we distribute it. It's just that simple.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mataji. So that it's not always possible. Like you said, one can, just mentally also, sometimes you're outside, just offer it and have it, right?
Yeah, outside, like when you have a fruit or anything that you just with your bhava, like, you cannot do physically. With your mind, you before eating, you say that, Krishna, I'm offering this to you mentally because I'm not in a position where I can do a proper way. And then please accept this. And just after a minute, you can eat it.
Right, Mataji. But you're saying also without tasting mostly. Yeah.
That is cooking at home. We without tasting, we offer it the first thing to Krishna, right? So we don't taste when we are offering to Krishna. And let's say you may have a doubt like salt may be less or something may be less. So generally, when devotees offer, they also put salt in Krishna's plate to the side, and they offer. And later, after offering, you can taste it, and you can mix whatever you want. But you don't need to worry that my dish will be spoiled or anything. After doing some after doing it for some years, you will get to know that it will come good only. Like I will get an idea, like without tasting you will get an idea. Because I noticed that some people, they keep tasting 10, 15 times when cooking itself to make it good, and they are very worried that, oh, I have to cook without tasting. So we don't need to worry. Uh, we can always, as we are practicing, it will get better.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Pranam Mataji. Wonderful lecture today. I have a question. Like you mentioned about ghee and offering foods and stuff, and um, so in this like age and everything is contaminated. Nothing is pure. So how can, like, I even when I go for shopping or buying food stuff, I try to look at the ingredients and everything. But I'm just trying to understand how can we maintain that purity. Even the milk that we buy from the source is not pure, right? Because the cows, they when they stop giving the milk, they send it for you know um, the slaughterhouses. So just trying to understand how we can maintain that purity and while offering. Even the ghee that we buy, there's no 100% guarantee that it's a pure
Yeah.
ghee made from milk. It could be contaminated with some other stuff. So maybe if you can enlighten a
Unfortunately,
bit.
unfortunately, right now the cheap and not real things are available so easily, and it's so difficult sometimes to get the purest things also, because um, because you need to put a lot of effort, you have to do a lot of research, and expensive also. I should say that also, because I cannot remove that out, because there are few devotees when I because I'm in a place where there is no temple, so we run a bhakti vriksha, and especially when we tell devotees cooking prasadam to only use these kind of particular ingredients, they generally come back and say, Mataji, these are so expensive. How can we do this one? I may not be able to afford that. So that is really true. That is also practical, that they are expensive. The things, and we don't really know whether what they're claiming are true also. So, but having said that, it is very difficult to find the pure ones. and very rare. The cheap ones and not pure ones are very easily available. Again, it goes back to the point that if we are sincere, if we have that love, like how for our own health we find the right things, we don't go and eat something that is causing us ill health, and then we put that effort in finding out what is the best thing and all. Similarly, when it comes to Krishna's service, we have to have that motivation to put that extra effort. And devotees all over the world are helping us because the senior devotees, or there are many articles where they tell us like which products we should use, milk, which milk we should buy, or bread, which bread we should buy. Because recently I saw an article where every bird is mixed with the feathers of birds, something like that. So we have to be very careful. And when I initially came to US, every product I used to call the manufacturer, like asking them the vitamins that you are putting in these products, or are they animal driven or plant driven. So we should be asking them like that, and they will give us all the details. But it requires a lot of effort initially. But once we put in that initial effort, and find out which products are more better and pure, and not having a lot of himsa. Nowadays, like all the temples who have cows, they distribute also milk. Many places they distribute milk. If we can put that extra effort to go and buy that, go and find it. Not only devotees, normal people also trying to find good milk and ghee, because the other milks are pumped with hormones and all, which are not good for our health. So people are going towards that. It's just that we need to put that effort. We need to have that patience, that tolerance, to go and find the right thing. See, tolerance is another quality in Vidurniti is also mentioned, and Krishna also has mentioned. You need patience. Like, easily, the cheap products are easily available. We grab them and we use them. And the pure products are very difficult. So you can take help of the devotee resources in your community or in your temple or in your places, asking them what is the best thing, what is the right thing, purest thing, and then put some extra effort, buy those butters, make ghee at home only, not like from outside, because when you buy from outside, it can be mixed with something else. So most of the devotees make ghee at home, buying the right butter, or buying the milk from the cows directly. Even places where there are no temples, people are directly buying the milk from the farmers. So this is increasing. We just have to put a little bit more effort, find out those resources, get from them, and if they are expensive, um, we can see where we can cut our expenses otherwise and try to get them, or only get them how much ever we can do, like for slowly start doing it for offering to Krishna, and then slowly using them to ourselves also in our daily lives. And um, it's good for us, our health also, when we find purest products of these. We are offering to Krishna, but at the end we are consuming them. So the more cleaner way our food goes, the more natural way it goes, the more healthier we becomes. And it all requires patience, um, that motivation to do that. Most importantly, that I'm going to give sincerely my best to Krishna. That attitude makes it easy. Otherwise, if we don't have those attitudes, we'll find it difficult. Oh, who will go now and do all these things? So that's how our mentality becomes. I don't know if I addressed your question, Prabhu, but
No,
just try.
that was wonderful, Mataji. It answered everything. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mataji, I just wanted to ask you, the easiest is to offer dry fruits and water early in the morning,
Yes.
because many times, I mean, to start, I'm saying
Mm,
later on.
yes.
And
Yep.
then, because that's easy. One remembers one time in a day.
Mhm.
And then later on, every meal we can start doing, you know.
Yes. Yes. And rice is the simplest thing if you are doing meal. And like, very start with simple things and be consistent with that. And
Right.
slowly the things change for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. All this Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, it was such a very nice class, reflecting upon the Vyasa Dharma to in terms of offering prasada and to the Brahmanas and then to the others. So the Vaishnavas are not mentioned, so because this is from the three modes of material nature perspective. So it is
Yeah,
implied, right?
Yeah, Prabhupada writes in the purport Vaishnavas because Vaishnavas are one step ahead than Brahmanas. So if we are feeding Vaishnavas, we are already feeding Brahmanas. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
And the construct of that, the mental speculation of that Daridra Narayan has been debunked, which is
Yes.
correct. Because the Daridra Narayan is a fallacy under which Krishna may not be pleased. Some Brahmanas are not fed, are not pleased. Vaishnavas are not pleased. Whether drunkard is pleased doesn't make any difference to the propagation of Vedic culture in the society. Yes, so it is very important to make the discrimination. Though Lord is present in everyone's hearts as Paramatma, that is correct. So feeding the Paramatma through the feeding the Brahmanas is more acceptable.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Mhm.
Yeah, because this there is demonic propaganda. Why is ISKCON pouring so much of milk in the Abhishek? It could have been used by poor people. Poor people are not Narayan. Some of them may be pure, but the equation of poor equal to devotee, poor equal to pure doesn't exist. So that is to be understood clearly.
Mhm.
Because that argument comes often in the demonic world when they try to generally the left liberal circle, also some Mayavadi circle also, because they're in a way left liberal. In their philosophy, those two philosophies align. Yes, it's very important. Yes, Mataji, thank you for your nice class and reflections, and your purity is by so much service to Krishna and his devotees, even in the absence of a temple there, is fit for so much of adulation. So I'm unqualified to glorify you enough. So please bless us so that we can come, we can get some of your qualities by your mercy, Mataji.
Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy, Prabhu. Yes, actually. Yep.
Also, Mataji, I wanted to ask, in ISKCON temples, one can give dry ingredients, but do they also accept cooked food to serve to as prasadam if we make and give over there? So that sometimes it's not easy to find Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. I'm just asking.
I think Shamarashka Mataji might be very good person to answer that. But Bhakti Vrikshas, when we run Mataji, where there is no temple, people bring cooked food. We tell them the rules, like how they are. So, but I think temples, dry ingredients, because they have a kitchen, they have people there cook. Giving dry ingredients is the best thing, because they are anyway going to serve the Vaishnavas there.
But that is not prasadam, Mataji, right?
That is Prasadam, Mataji. Whatever they are distributing is Prasada. in temples. They not in the like. See, I think Govindas also will be, but the one they distribute in the temples, that is prasada. They will offer it to the Lord and then they will distribute, right? That one.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah,
That
but
is prasadam.
but if you give dry ingredients, they could make things out of it after a week,
Yeah, they
10 days.
use.
May not happen
Yeah,
right away.
they may not happen right away. They use it and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Mataji. Yeah, only dry food we can give it to temple, and then devotees like Brahman devotees they can cook and then will offer to God Krishna on the altar, and then it will be distributed to all the people. So cooked food is not accepted in temple, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
We have two more hands raised up. Vaishnav, Padmini Radha Devidasi and Vamsi Vilas Prabhu. So, yes, please go ahead, Prabhuji and Mataji, for your questions.
Prabhu had raised his hand first, Mataji. Prabhu, go ahead, please.
Oh, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class and explaining so wonderfully about the karma. Initially, that's Krishna himself says that it's very difficult to understand karma, but you made it very simple for us to understand. Mataji, my question is, regarding reversals in life, and we know we can think that yes, it is my bad karma in previous life, but like Brahma says in 10th canto when he prays to Krishna after Brahma Vimana Leela Tatena Kampam verse, should we think of everything as the mercy of the Lord than our doing? Because everything that happens is slowly bringing us to Krishna consciousness or getting us into a better situation. So then should we think of it as our karma or just think that you think this is bad but this is actually good for you and it's the mercy of the Lord? So can you please shed some light on that, what consciousness we need to have for reversal? Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful question, Prabhu. It's a very difficult to face and have a right mindset in reversals. And then as we are progressing, our mindset keeps changing when we are facing the reversals. So those of us who are not at all Krishna consciousness or have any idea, initially we think that the mindset will be that Krishna is being unfair to us. So our resentment goes upwards. First of all, it goes around the people, like we will blame the people who caused us that problem. And then we feel bad inside. We are very sad. And then it also goes upward. We'll say that Krishna is being unfair to us. And as we are progressing and we are reading scriptures, the first thing devotees always understand is like, this is my bad karma coming back. Because if you see in Dhruva's pastime, that is the instruction Suniti gives to Dhruva. Why are you blaming your stepmother? Anything that is happening to us, good or bad, is what we have acquired in our past lives, what we have done, and it is just coming back to us. So that devotees always understand, first of all, they start from there. This is my bad karma coming back. It's good that my bad karma is getting burnt. Initial days of my Krishna consciousness, when I'm very new, like this is somewhere 25 years back, we were in biggest troubles. And then it's very young age also when initial came. And one senior devotee came and said like, good, your bad karma is getting burned when you're suffering. So that was like very thought-provoking because he was a very good friend. So we never thought that he's going to insult us or anything, or he's being heartless. It was thought-provoking. Right? It's true, right? Because when we are suffering, all the bad karma is getting burnt. When we are enjoying, all the good karma is getting bent. So when we have a disease and then it is going away, like the suffering is, our bad karma is going away in the form of suffering, it's good only. But we don't have that mindset when we are suffering because we are suffering. So initially the devotees thinks that it is my bad karma that is getting burnt. One thing is true at any point of time. Nothing is happening without permission of Krishna. Even though it is my bad karma that is coming to me back in the due course of time, time is Krishna. So it is allowed by Krishna. It is permitted by Krishna to happen that way. So if we understand that this is happening under the supervision of Krishna, immediately our mindset changes that because Krishna is my benefactor, Krishna is my protector, Krishna is knows everything. Krishna knows past, present, and future. So whatever is happening to me is good because I'm dependent on Krishna. I'm under protection of Krishna, and this is happening to me under the permission of Krishna. That means this is what is good for me at this point of time. I may not be seeing that. A small child may be asking for a knife and crying, but the mother is not giving it. The child may be crying, the child may be cribbing, but mother will not give that because that is not good for that baby. So similarly, sometimes we may be cribbing, we may be crying, we may be complaining with our situation. But if we have this mindset at the back of our mind that this is not happening without knowledge of Krishna, Krishna is permitting this to happen and this is happening, that means this is good for me because I am dependent of Krishna, and Krishna never let go somebody who is dependent on him, who has taken his shelter, who has taken his surrenderance. So Krishna will never do that because Krishna is claiming throughout the Bhagavad Gita that Surdam Sarva Bhutanam. And he tells in the 9th chapter that Arjuna, note down that my devotee will never perish. Name bhaktha pranashyati, he says. Then that means this is what is good for us. That is what our mindset changes, that this is happening under the permission of Krishna. I'm cribbing, I'm complaining, I'm not feeling happy, but this is what is good for me at this point of time. And I'm going to accept this. And when we accept, once we accept, we start looking how I can get through this one. And how do we get through this thing? By remembering Krishna more. So worst come worst, what happens in the time of suffering? If we have right consciousness, we will remember Krishna all the time. We may not remember Krishna when we are happy because we get carried away by that enjoyment and we may forget to remember Krishna. But in the time of troubles, if we have the right mindset that this is happening under the permission of Krishna, under the guidance of Krishna, and this is also a mercy of Krishna, then we start thinking about Krishna all the time. So that mindset can give us the bestest thing, that thinking of Krishna all the times. So the way you approach Krishna when you are in trouble is more like you have lot of eagerness, lot of focus, lot of attention to the nama, and you have that surrenderance, that helplessness, that Krishna, this problem is out of my control. I can't do anything. I don't have any other shelter other than you, Krishna. And that shelter, taking shelter of Krishna, becomes very real, very practical to us. If we understand that as, oh, this is a misfortune, then we may not learn anything from that. But if we see that this is happening under the guidance of Krishna, under the permission of Krishna to me, and there is something here, Krishna wants me to change, Krishna wants me to learn, Krishna wants me to take a step ahead, then we will progress. We will go and surrender to Krishna. We will see what we can learn from that situation, and we will develop detachment to the material world. When we are progressing, Krishna shows us our weaknesses to us, our attachments to us. We will start understanding why in the first place I am complaining. I am complaining because I'm very much body conscious. I'm attached to my body. And Krishna is proving to me that I'm not this body, I'm soul. I have to elevate my consciousness to that level. And I will use this trouble, this suffering as an opportunity to get closer to Krishna and to elevate my consciousness to the soul level. All these things are difficult. Telling is easy. But these are all very difficult. But these are all very attainable also. If we have the right mindset and if we use our misfortunes, our reversals as an opportunity to get closer to Krishna and surrender to Krishna. So this is how the devotees see. It is not that the devotees don't have problems. The progressing devotees have problems, but their mindset towards that problem is completely different. They are not complaining, they are not cribbing, they are not blaming, they are accepting it and using that opportunity to how I can get closer to Krishna, how I can depend on Krishna even more, take shelter of Krishna even more, how I can, at least I will use this opportunity to remember Krishna all the time. So they are utilizing that misfortune to get closer to Krishna, seek Krishna's mercy, dependent on Krishna, and see how this material world is so temporary, and develop detachment. So this is how they use that situation and grow. So at the end of the day, it is Krishna's mercy if we have right mindset. That's what we have to develop, and that's where we have to go, and that's where we seek help of the devotees. We tell to the devotees that I am lacking in my sadhana because I'm getting carried away by this suffering, help me. And then they will help us, and then we will get back again. So this is how we should look at the misfortunes, reversals, challenging situations in our life, that Krishna is helping us to learn that we are not this body, getting ourselves detached to that material world. Otherwise, if everything is going good, it is so hard to get detached to the material world. We will get even more attached. We'll start practicing even Krishna consciousness because we are getting so many material pleasures. And we will go in entirely different directions where there is no comeback. So, in this way, Krishna is helping us to show the temporary nature of this material world and make our devotional service even more sincere, eager, enthusiastic to go back to Krishna. So this is how we look at, if we start teaching ourselves to look at the reversals and challenges like this and remember Krishna all the time, we get closer to Krishna. See how we get closer to the people who help us in troubles. We develop a bond with them. And these misfortunes, reversals, challenges help us to develop a bond with Krishna, get closer to Krishna. That's what I'm thinking, Prabhuji. I don't know if I answered or.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mataji, for sharing your personal situations and how you overcome that with the right mindset and giving us the right encouragement to handle any situation as an opportunity. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Thank you for such a wonderful class. You spoke about reversals, and at the end, you spoke about prasadam, everything. You covered everything, all the important concepts of Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much. I just had a little sharing to do, and then I had a question also follow up. So, when you were talking right now about reversals and sufferings, I have our Shiksha Guru. Once I was talking to her about a devotee, and she was talking about how difficult his life has been, and he has suffered so much, but she kept using the words purification. And I was very new to Krishna consciousness that time, so I was listening into her, and she kept calling it purification. And at one point, I stopped her and I asked her, "Why are you calling it purification?" And that time she had told me, she had explained the concept, like how you were talking about, we experience things from our past life, and that's our karma. So it's just, you're just getting purified of bad karma. So ever since then, I feel that has helped me, digest sufferings a little more, because we all suffer and we all have hardships. So just calling it, because in life I feel everything is perspective. So if you just have that perspective and look at things differently, it helps you deal with those hardships a little more. So that was just a little sharing I wanted to do. And my question is, Mataji, about prasadam. So I know, and that when you're preparing prasadam for the deities, especially your home deities, or for programs, you're supposed to be clean, right? You're supposed to have, you have to take a bath and all of that. But there are times that I am not able to take a bath before. So I just start cooking. So I know what is right, but in my head sometimes, just because of the schedule of the day, I've not been able to, take a bath before, and I've already started cooking. So I'm trying to understand, Mataji, and I'm very guilty of this. I am trying very hard to break that habit of mine. But I wanted to know, what is more superior, offering the food when you are, cooking for the, because when I cook, my consciousness, I try to keep a clean consciousness, though my body may not be clean, right? But so I think I'm trying to understand what is more important, the fact that I offer food, or just because I've cooked, because I'm not clean, I don't even offer the food. Can you tell me something about this, please?
Yeah, I will tell. It's such a critical question, but I will tell. Uh, uh, so you see how much you can do that. This again goes back to love and sincerity. I would say that I'll start from there. Because doing rightly is the first thing. Let's say I am somebody who is very sick, who cannot take bath. And if I take bath, my sickness increases. And I have nobody else at home who can offer to the deities. And then I have to cook and eat first, or I want to offer. So first thing I'll do is I will only offer when I am able to take bath. Like it may not be the first thing in the morning. So it may not be afternoon, maybe in the evening. I see some devotees who only offer in the evenings. So they come home after work, they take bath, and then they cook, and they only offer in the evenings. So if you have any that kind of an arrangement, we should do that. You should find the time where you can take bath and cook and offer. You do that time. You choose that first. Like choose that time. So ideally is like offering in the morning, offering all the time, all the meals and all. That is the ideal situation that we all can follow. Because we are not able to follow that, choose the time when you can take bath and cook and you can offer, and then eat that. Remaining times, when you're not taking bath and cooking, you keep offered water or some other ingredient and pour it in that, and then it becomes, it still have a offered water in it, so that cooking becomes even not like normal cooking. So do like that. But my
So,
first
Mataji,
best.
sorry. I'm going to interrupt you really quickly over here. So, I know you keep saying offering. So, I'm very fallen, right? I have a way around it. So, where the days when I am, I'm not taking a bath, I make my Prabhu offer. So, he is clean. So, the offering part he does, but the cooking part I do. So, I think my question moreover is
Cooking also should be done clean, Mataji.
correct. Okay.
What I'm saying. So if you cannot take bath and cook, it's not needed that you only have to cook food to the deities. You can make your Prabhu offer any fruit or any other something which he can cook and offer. Like rice, at least you can ask him to put, or you may not be person who is eating rice, but something which he can do and offer. See, if you see Hari Bhakti Vilas and all, we have to take bath and cook and offer. That's the highest standard that we have to follow. Let's say some people take bath in the morning, but sometimes they offer in the afternoons or evenings. So I have seen devotees doing like that. So you don't need to take bath again. Usually I take bath again whenever I cook, whether it is afternoon or evening, and I offer. But I have seen some devotees, they don't take bath again, but they at least they have clean clothes, that they clothes that they did not used for anything else. You can wash your hands and legs and cook and offer, but you have taken bath already in the morning. It's not that. So cooking should be done after taking bath. That's the first thing.
Okay.
But again, there are exceptions. So what I'm saying is, you asked me which one takes priority. Offering takes priority or cooking takes priority, which is supreme, something like that you offered. So you don't need to offer cooked food if you are not able to. You can offer something else. You can offer, what do you call that? Poha, dry poha. It's a grain, right? So you take dry poha, ask your Prabhuji to put some milk and sugar in that and you can offer it. It does not require any cooking. Like you just have to warm. So you can offer any other thing which is very simple to be offered with clean person making it. I mean to say with clean clothes.
Correct.
Yeah, that is best than not taking bath, cooking and offering.
I see. Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, I know I am very guilty of doing this.
Mataji, you are saying all those things, but when you ask that question, what I felt is like, you are very sincere. That quality is very important to Krishna. You're being very sincere. You're not hiding or you're not pretending. You're not doing those things. So that quality is very, very important. And you keep that quality in you. And then I'm learning that from you. That's so wonderful. So to me, it's okay if we don't offer cooked food. You can offer, because I personally, my Prabhu lives in works in some other town. And some days I cannot cook and offer. And I have small children because my kids were born after I was initiated. So they were very small children. And I have Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and a lot of devotees. So I used to tell my kids, just take bath, put a glass of water with tulsi, and speak simple words that, Krishna, please accept this as offering. And they used to tell, my mom cannot cook, so we don't have anybody cooking here, so we are only offering you water. So that's what it is. Krishna is not expecting us to do a full meal. So it's better to offer water than not cooking, taking bath. So that's what I feel. I followed that. There are days where I cannot cook and offer because there is no way to do it.
Right. Thank you so much, Mataji. This helps a lot. I mean, we offer very regularly, almost every day, at least 2 meals. And it's funny, like the power of prasadam is so much that whenever I've made food, and when I give it to my children, they make sure they ask me, is it offered? And it touches my heart because it's so much important for kids that they just see it so naturally, that we are offering everything that we are eating. So even when we get fruit from outside, the first thing that they themselves do is wash it and offer it and then eat it.
Wonderful. Yep, wonderful, Mataji. So wonderful, right? Like, that is what it is. We can't teach so many things by preaching. We can do by giving prasadam to the kids that helps them to sanctify their consciousness.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, I have a question regarding it. No, I'm not. Definitely, everything and the purity is very important because that is in the mode of goodness. Without goodness, we cannot elevate our consciousness beyond the three mode. So, the question related is how of the अपवित्र पवित्र व प्रभाव संगत what is the potency of that?
That is for exceptions, Prabhu. Like when you are traveling, when you don't have an opportunity to take bath, when you are sick, when you don't have anybody at the home. So we can always do that. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, and then eat it. Those are still powerful because those are still recommended by acharyas, all those methods. But all those methods are like exceptions, right? Like, so we will be knowing sincerely whether this is an exception situation or I'm just being, some days we just are lazy for some other reason. Not like really lazy also, like maybe we are very tired. We are not motivated to do the things in the way what we want to do. Something else going on so big that we cannot. So sincerity, like if I'm a lazy person and I every day will say that, oh, who will put effort and offer, I'll just say Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu and eat, then the whole purpose of those things with exceptions will go away, right? Like how in Apicheta Sudurachara, that sloka Prabhupada writes, like this is for accidental things, not like you do on the strength of holy name all kinds of wrong things. Like, So that's how it is. Those are still powerful. And Shastras say that if you cannot take bath, you are traveling, you just put the tilak or vibhudi and then you become purified. So those are all there still.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this lecture class and so practical suggestions and guidance and answer to the Vamasi Vadan Prabhu and Padmindrada's question. I would like to add something on Padmindrada's question, Mataji. Can I?
Oh, please go ahead, Mataji, please.
Yes, ma'am. So, thank you, Mataji. So, in my home, before, in my childhood and after my marriage, my mother-in-law was not allowing us to go in kitchen also if we are not taken bath. So, and after coming to Krishna consciousness, I learned how much importance is to cleanliness in our cooking, because we think that this kitchen is not our kitchen. This is Radharani's kitchen. This is Lakshmi's kitchen, who is cooking for Jagannath and Krishna. So if we are assisting her in her this cooking, we should always take bath. So we just take 5 minutes or for the taking bath whenever we get up, so we can manage the time to take the bath and then cook for kids. I know kids is in early morning, and if we are working, it's very hard, like manage the time for kids tiffin and husband tiffin, our tiffin. But yeah, if we can just manage the time for 5 minutes for our bath, it is very easy, Mataji. Like, so that's my suggestion, or Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Sure. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. So anybody has any question or comment? Otherwise,
Your suggestion is take a 5 minute bath early in the morning. What was that exact point? Just could you please repeat?
my suggestion was, Prabhuji, if we are washing deities in our home, and if also we are not home, but this kitchen is Krishna, Radharani's kitchen, Mahalakshmi's kitchen, and we are serving, helping her in the cooking bhoga for Lord Jagannath or Krishna, then we should take a bath and we should be clean, because it's only take 5 minutes to take a shower, like quick shower. So we can manage this time while getting up. Like we can get up early 5 minutes and then we can take bath and then go in the kitchen. So that's how like I learned from my Shiksha Guru and my mother-in-law also. Hare Krishna.
Also, Mataji, like Mataji said, wearing clean clothes is very important. So,
Yeah.
but like I feel I've kept some set of clothes only for while doing puja and cooking. Yeah,
Yes.
because like in olden days, they always change their clothes every day. In the West, we don't, because it's warm clothes and all. So one keeps separate set for puja.
Yes, that's best, Mataji. That's best. Yes, in our olden days, like the silk clothes were put for the like soda. It was called certain type of clothes for puja and cooking. Yes, Mataji, that's correct.
Thank
You
you.
can do also. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if nobody has question or comment, we can end up the call here. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this Nectar class. And we love so much your classes, because so many practical tips and guidance we get from you. So Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपासिन्धुः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथ भागवतम की जय। वनमालिनी मंजरी माता जी की जय। Thank you so much, Mata ji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.